Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about mid-segments of a triangle, what they are and how we can use them. Our objective in this lesson is that we can use the relationship of a mid-segment of a triangle to find other side lengths, and we're also going to be using it to show that lines are parallel. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So let's start by defining what the mid-segment of a triangle is. A mid-segment of a triangle is a segment that connects the midpoint of two sides. So here, MN is a segment, and I can tell that it's connecting the midpoint of side AB and the midpoint of side AN. I can tell that because these two sides are congruent, meaning that M is the midpoint of AB, and these two sides are congruent, meaning that N is the midpoint of AC. Since every triangle has three sides, every triangle has each of those three sides is going to have a midpoint that cuts each side of the triangle in half, which means every triangle is also going to have three mid-segments. So we can see from this picture, each mid-segment cuts the side length in half, and it's connecting those two midpoints. Mid-segment connects midpoints of the sides of a triangle. Now, the triangle midsegment theorem says that the segment that connects two midpoints, aka a midsegment of a triangle, is parallel to the third side. So here we have DE, and it's connecting the midpoint of AB and the midpoint of BC. And this theorem says that this segment, DE, is parallel to the third segment, the one that it's not touching its midpoint for. So DE is parallel to AC. Parallel meaning they have the same slope and they never cross. Another part of this theorem, so that part shows up down here. Another part to this theorem is that this length, the length of DE, is actually half of the length of AC. And we're going to look at a proof for that theorem in this video as well. So the midsegment of a triangle is a segment that connects the midpoint of two sides. Every triangle has three midsegments. If we know that a segment is a midsegment, we know that it's parallel to the side that it's not touching of the triangle, and we know that the length of that midsegment is half of the length of that parallel side. Now that we have defined these things, let's use them so that we can really solidify our understanding of what a triangle midsegment is and how we can use it. Okay, in this first example, we're going to use the triangle that's given and the midsegment, MN, to actually show the two things that our triangle midsegment theorem said. The first thing that the midsegment theorem says is that if we have a midsegment, that line or that segment is parallel to the third side. So the very first thing that we're going to show is that MN is parallel to JL. And what do we know about parallel lines or parallel segments? They have the same slope. So what we can do is we can actually just find the slope of MN by counting the rise over the run. And we can find the slope of the other segment, JL, which it doesn't look labeled on here. So let's add that. We can find the slope of JL, and we can compare them. So if I'm counting the rise over the run for MN, I'm going down 1 and I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is going to be negative 1/4. For JL, I'm going down 2 and I'm going over 8. So that also has a slope of 1/4. So since MN and JL have the same slope, we can conclude that MN as a segment is parallel to JL as a segment. Let's actually just make all of these segments. There we go. So to show that the lines are parallel, we're simply going to show that they have the same slope. Now, to show that MN is half of the length of JL, what we can do is we can find the length of MN using the distance formula or the Pythagorean theorem. We can find the length of JL in the same way, and then we can see if this statement holds true. So MN, we already said the slope was down 1 and over 4. So that means negative 1 squared plus 4 squared. That's going to be the square root of 1 plus 16, the square root of 17, is the length of MN. Similarly, for JL, we said the length of X was 8, so 8 squared, and the length of Y was negative 2 squared. That's going to be the square root of 64 plus 4, 68. And let's go ahead and simplify 68. 68 is 4 times 17. And the square root of 4 is 2. So we are looking at this statement here. MN, we're trying to show, is half of the length of JL. So let's plug in what we know. We know that MN is 17. And we know that JL is 2 times the square root of 17. 1/2 times this 2 is going to divide out. So we end up with 17. Root 17 is equal to root 17, which is true. So we have now shown both of these statements using our given diagram. Let's go ahead and look at another example. Okay, we're going to sort of do a guided proof that proves the triangle midsegment theorem. So we are given that DE is a midsegment of triangle OBC. We're going to prove the two things that that theorem says, that DE and OC are parallel and that DE is equal to 1/2 of OC. So let's start by actually finding the coordinates of OB. Well, finding the coordinates of D and E. Well, the coordinates of D is the midpoint by the definition of a midsegment. D must be the midpoint. So I'm going to say D and E are midpoints. So we can find the midpoint using this formula. So the midpoint, I don't want to call it M though, I want to call it D, is going to be 2q plus 0 divided by 2 for the x coordinate and 2r plus 0 divided by 2 for the y coordinate. So DE, 2q divided by 2 is going to be q, and 2r divided by 2 is going to be r. So the coordinates of D are q, comma, r. Now we're going to do the same thing for E. I'm going to encourage you to pause the video and use these two coordinates to find the midpoint for E, and then unpause the video and see how you did. Hopefully you had time to work through that, and there is the midpoint for E. So we can divide each 2q and 2p by 2 to get q plus p, and we can divide 2r by 2 to get just r. Now we're going to compare the slopes, and we can find the slopes just by looking at our graph. Notice that the slope of DE is 0. That's a flat line segment. So DE has slope 0. Also, OC we could calculate using the formula or the formula for slope, or we can just look and see that is a horizontal slope. So that also has a slope of 0, which means they both have the same slope, which means the segments are parallel. Let's go ahead and write that up. Lastly, we're going to find the lengths of DE and the length of OC using the coordinates that we know. So DE is going to be the square root of, so I'm using the 2 points that I found, q plus p, comma, r. I'm going to use those two coordinates. So if I do x2 minus x1, q plus p minus q squared, plus, looking at my y values, r minus r squared. So DE is going to be the square root of, well, these q's are going to add to be 0, so p squared. R minus r is 0. And the square root of p squared is just going to be p. Now, let's look at the length of OC. That's going to be the square root of 2p is my first x coordinate, minus 0 squared, plus 0 minus 0. Both of my y values are 0 squared. So this is going to equal the square root of 2p squared is 4p squared. And if I square that square root, I get back to 2p. And now we can verify what this statement says. If OC is 2p and DE is p, DE is equal to 1/2 of 2p. And there we have it. So DE is equal to 1/2 of OC. Verified. Now let's look at a couple examples where we are using the midsegment. All right, for both examples 3 and 4, we are given that DE is a midsegment of the triangle. What that means is we know that D is the midpoint of AB, that E is the midpoint of AC, that DE and BC are parallel, and most importantly for solving this problem, that 1/2 of the bigger side, 28, is going to equal the smaller side. So because we know that this is a midsegment, we know that DE is equal to 1/2 of BC. And in this case, BC is 28, which means that DE is going to be 1/2 of 28, or 14. Let's look at number 4. Again, we know that DE is the midsegment, so these are midpoints, and that means that these sides are the same and these two sides are the same. It means that this segment DE is parallel to this segment, and it means that, just as we showed on number 3, that DE is 1/2 as long as BC. But all we actually need to figure out on number 4 is what the value of X is. Well, we know that this length is equal to this length if this is a midsegment, because E is the midpoint. And if E is the midpoint, that means we have the same value, the same length on each side. So X is going to be 9. Since EA is 9, EC will also be 9. Now we could throw more algebra in here. We could give a length here like 2y plus 7, and we could give a value here like 6 plus y. And we could have to use what we know about that relationship to solve for y. So for example, if we were solving this problem here, we could say that 6 plus y is equal to 1/2 of 2y plus, and instead of making this 7, let's make this 8, 2y plus 8. And then we could actually distribute and solve for y here, and then we could be asked to find either of these lengths. Now, I know that problem wasn't given there. I just want you to be always thinking about how this could show up in a slightly different way, or how this problem could incorporate more algebra. And this is a great example for how this problem could incorporate more algebra. All right, let's look at a couple more examples before we wrap up this video. All right, here we have a triangle. There's a whole lot of segments drawn here, so let's really make sure we go slow. We underline and circle and make sure we know what is being said here. DE is a midsegment of triangle ABC. So I'm going to go ahead and mark what that means. That means these are midpoints. That means that this whole length is equal to this whole length, and this length is equal to this length. Just want to make sure that I'm identifying what that means and how that might help me. Then we're told that FG is the midsegment of triangle ADE, the smaller triangle. So that means I have midpoints here. So this length is equal to that length, and this length is equal to that length. We are being asked to find the length of FG. So my first thought is there aren't any numbers here. How in the world are we going to figure any of this out? So I'm searching around, and the only number that I see is 52. So I must need to start there. If DE is the midsegment, that means that DE is going to be 1/2. DE is going to be 1/2 the length of BC. And we know the length of BC is 52. So that means that DE is going to be 26. So we just found this length. Now, I must need to use that piece of information to find the length of FG. Well, if we look at this smaller triangle, now 26 is the big length, and we're going to cut that in half to find the smaller length. So let me set that up. Since FG is a midsegment, FG is going to equal 1/2 of DE, and we just figured out that DE is 26, which means that FG is going to be 13. So always start by circling and underlining and highlighting what you know and adding it to your diagram, and then it's sort of like a puzzle. You need to figure out where to start and how you can use what you're given to get to the piece of information you're being asked about. Let's look at one more example. All right, here we have a triangle that has a whole bunch of midsegments, and I know that it has midsegments because of all these little tick marks. So I see these, which means that D must be a midpoint. And then I also see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which means that F must be a midpoint, which means that DF is a midsegment. I also see here that I have 2 and 2, which means that E is a midpoint, which means that EF and also ED are midsegments. So we weren't given that information in words, we were given that information visually within the picture. And we're gonna need that information to be able to do what we're being asked to do. So let's look at what we're being asked to do. We are being asked to find the perimeter of DEF. So let's go ahead, oh, that's the green triangle here. The perimeter of DEF. So in order to find the perimeter, let's talk about what we need. We need to know the length of DE, we need to know the length of EF, and we need to know the length of DEF, DF. And then we just need to add those 3 things together. So again, this is a puzzle. Start by figuring out what you know and what you need to know, and then go from there. So because we have midsegments, we're going to use those. So let's look at DE first. DE is right here. By the midsegment of a triangle theorem is going to be half of this length here. So if this whole length is 45, then DE is going to be half of BC, which is going to be half of 45, which I'm just going to write as 45 over 2. I don't need to convert that to a decimal. I can't see a way that that's going to help me right now. But I just found one of the 3 lengths that I need to find in order to find the perimeter. So let's look at another length. Let's look at EF. EF is going to be half of this length over here, AB, which is half of 13, which is going to be 13 over 2. So we now know that piece. The last piece that we need to find is DF. DF is here. DF is going to be half of AC. And AC is 38, so half of 38. Half of 38 is going to be 19. So now we have the 3 side lengths. We just need to add them together to find the perimeter. So the perimeter of triangle DEF is going to equal 45 over 2 plus 13 over 2 plus 19. 45 and 13 is going to give me 58 over 2 plus 19. And 58 is even, so I can divide this by 2 to get 29. 29 plus 19. So the perimeter of this is going to be 48 units. And there we have it. And if you look at this, you could be asked to find other perimeters as well. You could be asked to find the perimeter of DBF. We already found this length. We could cut 13.5 to find this length. So there's a whole bunch of triangles in here that you could give yourself some extra practice calculating the perimeter of if you're looking for more practice. But that was our last example. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video. All right, this video was all about midsegments of a triangle. We talked about what a midsegment is, the fact that midsegments allow us to use midpoints to find different lengths of parts of the triangle and to identify which parts are parallel. So go ahead and write down any questions you have, and I look forward to supporting you on this. Thanks for listening.